is Ekirapa. I host the show Crossover 101 on TV. Where did I go to school? I went to primary school. I went to two primary schools. I went to Jujaru Primary, and then I went to St. Anne's Primary School, and then I went to Kinui Girls High School in Kangundo. Yeah. So I've done two things. I did theology for my first, and then after that I did counseling psychology. Yeah. So now I'm trying. Oh yeah. So I have Indian descent, Maasai descent, and Teso. So I'm a breed of all those three things. My hair comes from my mom. My eyes come from my mom. My mom was half Indian, half Maasai, and then my dad was Teso. My smile comes from my dad. And what else? Yeah, I actually look like my dad. It's only that I'm lighter than him, but I look like my dad. So I'm all those things combined. But I don't know any of my vernacular languages. Yeah. So when I was in theology school, I was also singing. Interesting. So I remember towards the end of my my last year in theology school, I did a song called Nueve, which has never seen the light of day, Jesus. And so I was directed by my producer to go to KBC. Then I didn't know anyone, nobody knew me, I was just a student. So when I went to KBC, I was introduced to a producer who was not even the producer I went to look for. The one I went to look for was unwell in hospital. So this guy's like, I'm his friend, I can actually take the CD to him. So he asked me, so why are you here? I said, I came to bring a CD. I want these guys to play my song. Believe me, I didn't even know that show exists. I had no idea of it. So I was told to go to Angaza and ask for the producer. So this guy told me, okay, I'll give the CD to him since he's not around. But have you ever thought about being on TV? I said, yeah. I've dreamt of being an anchor. Like, I used to read newspapers in front of a mirror. You know what I mean? So he said, why won't you try it? I said, I don't know anyone. I thought you needed to know someone. And second, I had not gone to any school for media or anything. So I said, I don't know. Do I need to go back to school and start studying? He said, let's see what will happen. So I was called the first time to go in and just be a guest at Angaza, and they called me to speak about a particular topic. I remember that time they had a guest who had been through some very difficult times, and so I just went in to give my 2 cents on what scripture speaks about pain and healing and everything. So after the show, they called me and asked me, would you want to come back again for the second time? So I said, yeah, why not? So I went back again the second time. Then they called me another time, third time now, to just watch from the gallery. And I was like, yeah, sure, this is interesting. Then the fourth time they told me, you know what, just come and co-host then the two, we had a producer, no, we had a host and we had a DJ. Said, come and just be the third person. I said, that's really exciting. And you know what, that's how my journey into TV started back in 2012. It's a devotional called Diary of a Praying Woman. Yes, Diary of a Praying Woman is my one book, the first book of many. I had people have written 15,000 books, and I'm like, I'm just on my first. Man, there's a long way to go, but I'm really excited. It's taught me so much, man. I didn't think I would ever write a book. I knew sometime in the future when I'm 50 I would, write a book about my life and everything. But God surprised me this year. When we crossed over the year, I knew I needed guidance. I needed guidance on something that I was set to do in 2020, but I didn't know a book was in the progress. I had no clue. But last year, when God gave me a direction to start something in the morning called Break of Dawn, I used to wake up every morning at 6, or rather I'd wake up before 6, but 6 online. I'd be online at 6, and I would teach about something, and then I'd pray for people online on Instagram. So all those things that I taught every single day, God put them together into a book. I didn't know that was God's idea. It's a devotional to help the lady to grow in her work with God. And it's basically full of scriptures. It has 26 topics, and every topic has scriptural backings just to help the lady study every single week. And then it has pages to write your own reflections. And so, yeah, that's what Diary of a Praying Woman is about. Oh, I think I'd want my sisters to write it. My sister Ashley and Julie are the closest people I know in my life, and I think they know me more than I know myself sometimes. So I think they would be the ones to write it. However, sometimes I think I need to write my own biography. Maybe I'll edit out some parts or add some things, But yeah, but if it was for other people to write it, I think it would be my sisters. Oh wow! So 21 happens to be my best year. Why? Because one, when I was 21, people thought I was 30. Nobody I told I was 21 believed me. Why? Because I think I grew up, this really independent person. So by the time I was 21, I was behaving independently. I was paying my bills. I was living alone. When people were doing, people my age were doing other stuff. I was busy paying bills, doing shopping for the house. Like I would queue in a supermarket and I'm buying ungas and all those things. And then at 21, I had finished. I'd actually I had been into Bible school, and I was speaking in places. I was preaching in places. I'd prayed for people to get born again. Healing was happening. So I was doing so many things, and in my age, I thought that was beyond me. I was going for meetings and speaking and making sense. And I just thought, this was just my best year. I had direction. At 21, I knew what I wanted to do. I can say I am exactly where I knew I would be at 21. See? Trust. Promise. What goes up but never comes down. I was about to say mist. Calf. Cab. Calf. I don't know if the lady in Cinderella is fiction. The godmother? Yeah. So I would be that woman. I saw Susie sitting in a shoe shine shop. I saw Susie sitting in a shoe shine shop. I saw Susie sitting in a shoe shine shop. A doctor. Wow. I'm a Christian and a believer, so my parting shot is always from the scripture. I'd say this. The most important thing you can ever do is to stay in obedience to the voice of God in your life. Scripture talks about in Jeremiah, I think it's Jeremiah, when God speaks about the ancient path. God says, when you get to a place where there's a crossroad, ask God for the ancient path. The ancient path is always the path that God directed for you in the first place. We grow and we find things and we choose our own paths, but the best thing you can ever do is to go back to that ancient path. I write this there's a chapter on this in my book, and the ancient path is what will direct you to your career, it will direct you to your marriage, it will direct you to the way you should bring your children up. It will direct you to your business. It will direct you to every area of your life. The ancient path is basically the direction of God. So whatever you do and everything that you put your hands to do, remember to ask God for the ancient path and stay obedient to the voice of God.